Okay, here we are. We're going to do problem 5 from the textbook from Contracts Law in Action. This is on page 171. So get out your books and go to page 171 and we'll look at this one. This is, we stopped in class, we did number 4 and then we got to 5 and I said we'll do these later. I didn't do them in class, so I wanted to put them on video for you. Owner is going to pay $120,000 to a builder to buy a house. It's going to cost the builder $115,000 to build it. So we know right away that the contract price of $120,000 minus the $115,000 means that there's going to be a $5,000 profit for the contractor. Okay? So that says $5,000 profit for the contractor. That's important to us because we know at the moment that the contract is formed, the contractor is entitled to that profit as his expectation interest. So if, for example, the owner were to immediately breach after making the contract, a moment after it's signed, we went through this in class, the contractor would be entitled to a $5,000 expectation interest. That doesn't happen in the real world, but that's the entitlement that you get in contracts class. There was one other bidder on the job according to the text, and that was for $120,800, so it would cost slightly more to hire somebody from the get-go to build this. Builder starts building, he does $30,000 worth of work, and then at this point it's going to cost him another $85,000 to build it for a total of $115,000. So $115,000 minus the $30,000 that he spent. He has $85,000 left to spend on this if he's going to complete the job himself. But the owner, in order to complete it, would have to pay $94,000. Why is that? Because the owner has to pay some other contractor. We know there's only one other contractor available and that contractor is more expensive. So it's going to cost the owner more in order to take care of this than it would for the original contractor to do the work. So Part A here says that the builder breaches. He says, I'm done, I'm not doing any more work. How much can owner recover on a breach of contract theory? Well, he hasn't actually paid anything at this point. So if the owner pays $94,000 to someone to complete the work, then he's ahead because he hasn't had to spend the full $120,000, right? He's still $26,000 from where he needed to be. Now, assuming he maybe pays off the $30,000 to the builder, if he spent a total of $124,000, then the owner would be entitled to $4,000 in damages because we want to keep the owner at spending no more than $120,000. So I think this problem is actually a little funny because he could pay $94,000 if nobody comes looking for the other money, then he doesn't need to sue anybody for damages. However, the builder can probably recover on a restitution theory. And the builder would say, well, I did work for you, I should get something. The builder would want to say, I did $30,000 worth of work, I should get $30,000. The owner, though, shouldn't have to pay that full $30,000. Because here again, the owner expected to pay $120,000, and of that has spent $94,000 completing the job. Okay? He expected to spend $120,000, has had to hire another contractor and pay him or her $94,000 to complete the job. So he's still $26,000 to the better. So one of the ways we could value the work that the builder has done, and he should get something for the work that he has done, is say, well, that work is only worth $26,000, right? That it's not worth more than that because in order to get the job done for $120,000, the owner had to pay so much more than it would have taken for the original contractor to finish the job. Part B says the owner breaches. Now this looks a little different. How much can the builder recover on a breach of contract theory in that instance? So at that point, the owner breaches. What has happened? At that point, the builder has put $30,000 into the job, and how much profit did the builder expect? The builder expected to make $5,000 on the job. So the contractor's expectation interest at that point is the $30,000 plus the $5,000 profit, and if we pay that amount of money to the contractor, then, there it is, if we pay that amount of money to the contractor, the $30,000 he's already put into the job, plus the $5,000 he expected in profit, he gets $35,000, and he makes the $5,000 profit. That's his expectation interest in this circumstance. On a restitution theory, how much does he get? Well, restitution is different, as I've been emphasizing in class. Restitution, we look at the value that has been conferred on the owner in this instance. Well, it's a little hard to say what that is. Maybe that's $30,000 worth of work, because that's the cost of the work that he's put into it. He's not quite all the way done. Maybe he's a quarter of the way done with the job. That would also put it at about $30,000. Although as we saw in the problem before, in terms of what it's going to take the owner to complete it, it's really only about $26,000 worth of work. Here, though, the owner has done the breaching, so we're going to not be inclined to cut the owner some slack here. And we're going to, I think probably in this circumstance, say that the owner has benefited from $30,000 worth of work, and that $30,000 should be the restitution interest for this problem. Questions?